I'm with Michael and Ron here at Russell Manor in Morrisburg, Ontario. This is a very different place, guys. I'm really blown away. We had a lovely meal, and you almost should charge admission to walk through the rooms here. Every room is like almost a different motif, and it's truly been delightful. And you guys are about to celebrate your 10th anniversary on Victoria Day weekend?
Yes.
How did this happen? I mean, this must be countless hours of work.
We came from Chinatown in Ottawa, and our house was always filled with either kids' friends or our friends. And we looked at each other one day and said, we love to take care of people, so how can we fit that into our lifestyle? And so we started searching. Ended up in Morrisburg because of the house. Had no idea of the community, the facilities, or anything around here, but landed in this community 10 years ago. Couldn't be happier. As far as Ron's concerned, now you have to drag him to Ottawa to do anything. 10 years ago, he would have said, what in God's name are we going to do out there? So, yeah, it's been a learning curve for the both of us. I come from a small town, so it was easier for me, but really, we wanted a different way of life, and we found it.
And Ron does all the cooking, which was great tonight, including the dessert we just had. Yes, and you do all the decorating.
I'm an interior designer, 25 years. I specialize in faux finishing, so.
Now, I heard on the rumor vine that you guys have been considering a location in Cornwall, Ontario.
Yeah,
that's true. It's true.
And we're talking an 1820 Georgian house that's sitting empty, just waiting.
Sitting empty and falling apart, just waiting for someone like us to take it over and
give it life
again. Give it life again. It was almost 200 years ago. We would like to bring that back to that. We would do, if we were to get that property, we would do something completely different from here. The downfall, or not the downfall, but the hesitation in doing that is when you build a place like this, it's based on the personalities of the people who have built it.
Mm-hmm.
If I do something, I don't do it half-assed, if I can say that on camera. But we would definitely bring ourselves and our integrity to that community, and that's really what we want to bring to Cornwall.
How large an investment in dollars are we talking about to renovate and turn an old building like that into something as magical as this?
More than I've ever made in my entire life.
We're talking probably, on the finance person here,
yeah.
we're talking probably conservatively $500,000. That's not including the purchase price of the house.
Now, why Cornwall instead of, say, Brockville or another city? What is it about Cornwall that's attractive to you?
Personally, if I can say something, I can see that with the removal of the bridge and the demise of Dom Pitar, that whole area is so beautiful, and I think it takes someone who hasn't grown up there to see that, you know, to really appreciate the sheer beauty. I'm also a cyclist, mm-hmm. and I ride up and down the river. I've been from Toronto to Montreal, and this little segment of the waterfront trail is the most beautiful. Starting from the Long-Sault Parkway. From Toronto to Montreal, yeah. But from the Long-Sault Parkway to Cornwall is absolutely beautiful. So I've seen the beauty of the area right up close on my bicycle.
Now, we were talking earlier, and there were some cautious thoughts that are passing by before you make this kind of investment or try and make this magic happen with Cornwall. Can you voice some of those, and are they hurdles that you can overcome?
Yes,
what can Cornwall do to attract you guys?
There's only bumps in the road.
There are several hurdles.
Yeah, I mean,
one is the purchase price. One is the fact that unfortunately this house is now under power of sale, and law firm in Toronto mm-hmm. is managing the bank's interest in the property, and as law firms are wont to do, they're making a monthly income from this management. So
without any knowledge of what the building means to the community.
So unfortunately, the bank in Cornwall, who is actually the owner of the property, has no idea, I don't think, of the state of the property.
So, assuming that you find a magic solution and they capitulate because no one else wants to buy it, and you can acquire this old gem, what happens then?
Then Michael does his magic.
I'm a finder of old things that need to be brought back to life, as you can see around here.
I thought you were looking at me.
A bit there too. I've always wanted to find things and bring them back to life, and that's what I did with this house, or that's what we did with this house. And that's what I'd like to do again. I hate to see things die before it's their time, and this house has so much life left of it. Drove by it one day and fell in love. It needs to be brought back to the community. It was a very important part of the community. It was a roadhouse or an inn 200 years ago, and I'd love to bring it back to that. I'd love to hear one day someone speak into my ear from 200 years ago and say thank you for saving this place. I think the community, as all communities now, are so caught up in the new that they forgot what the old does for them. And I really believe that once Cornwall gets a glimpse of what we've done here and what we can bring to that community, we might have a few people rally behind us on this one.
Do you have any hesitation about doing business with the city of Cornwall, the code bylaws? I mean, just having...
Let's clarify this. Hesitation and city go hand in hand. So no matter what city you are in, there's always going to be hesitation of dealing with bureaucracy.
Yeah, but unfortunately we know not a lot of people, but a number of people who have done business in Cornwall, and we understand, it's all hearsay, that it's very difficult to deal with the city, in particular with the bylaw enforcement people, with the building people, and that's a huge deterrent.
People need to walk hand in hand with each other, and you need to help the people who are going to make your community strong. I don't believe in fighting against your neighbor to make it a better community for yourselves. I think people need to look around and say, this is a win-win situation for both people involved. I would love to have the property for the Battle of 1812, 1813 and be able to celebrate and say, this is where we were and this is where we are now, and yeah.
Do you think that the city of Cornwall could or should do anything for aspiring entrepreneurs like yourselves that want to come and add value to Cornwall?
Tax breaks, heritage, purchase of buildings breaks. What can I do for you, Mr. Burton / Mr. Curry, to make this dream of yours a reality? So many people's dreams are dashed on the rocks even before they come to, even a dream. So it's time for small communities that need to grow to welcome people into their community, and you need to, change your outlook on how things are going to go to bring those into your community.
And I think it's really important that people look at their heritage, especially in Cornwall, which unfortunately has such a, it has in the past had a bad reputation in many respects. I think a lot of that had to do with Domtar, but there are some elements of Cornwall that are so beautiful that I think when you live in a place, maybe you don't see those elements. And the property we're looking at is unfortunately hidden very much. Its beauty is hidden because of what has come up around it. But
towers.
But it could become a focal point again in Cornwall and bring pride to Cornwall because of its beauty, because of its history.
As far as we know, it's the oldest building in Cornwall.
Yes, and Cornwall doesn't have a big list of heritage buildings that have survived.
No, it's very small.
Very small.
It's very small.
And I've worked in the design business for over 25 years now, and I've worked with the NCC in Ottawa, and I understand historical historical preservation. And when I look at that building, I don't want to turn it into a 500-seat dining or restaurant, which was going to destroy the building. I want to bring it back to what it should be, and
which is
a roadhouse where people can stop and take a breath on their travels and walk down to the river and say, what a beautiful place to be.
And apparently there's no accommodation downtown in Cornwall right now. There are the motels on Brookdale and some other accommodation too.
So you would have it be a B&B with dining like this facility?
Wow.
No, we're going to start with dining. Sure I would open it as a boutique hotel.
Okay.
So private facilities, private bathrooms, sitting rooms, make it a place where you could stop at the end of the day. There's beautiful dining in the area.
Yeah.
I would not want to walk into that and start taking in, you know, not taking over, but no, to bring dining to the community right now. I think there's a lot of people within walking distance of what I'm looking at that offer an exquisite experience of the dining. I want to offer right at the moment somewhere for people to lay their heads at the end of the night.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
You're welcome.